Hey guys, welcome back to Attack on TCG. Fluff here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Super deck profile. As of filming this, we're about 11 days away from the release of Destroyer Kings. I'm super excited. I'm almost as excited for this set as I was for Miraculous Revival. I think there's just a lot of amazing stuff out of it. But kind of getting into that point, we still had to kind of scrap and find interesting deck profiles for you guys. So next week, I know we have a couple really awesome deck profiles that will feature some of the Colossal Warfare promos. I know Bancroft was running one this week. Next week, I'm running another one. We'll see what happens there. But getting into it, I wanted to touch base on another archetype that I used way back when that I fell in love with and kind of goes hand in hand with my quest to make green good again. So, of course, we're looking at Veggies. I call this deck profile the Legendary Veggies. So we're using the Themed Booster 3 leader Goku, Son Goku, the legendary Super Saiyan. He's just an amazing utility green leader when you really look at him. He has one little caveat that makes him not quite as splashable as maybe something like Hirudegarn, but it's something that you can easily look over, and I was hesitant based on this fact, but I still really ended up liking the way that it meshes with Veggies. So this is the leader. On the front side here, Son Goku, burst 2 when you attack. You may choose one green card in your hand, place in your drop area. If you do, draw 2 cards. Very reminiscent of Hirudegarn with a burst effect. Awaken 4 or less life. Choose 2 of your energy and switch them to active card, then flip this card over. On the backside was where I said we had the little bit of the limitation. You need Sparkling 5. When this card attacks, you draw 1 card. If there's a Krillin in your drop area, this card gains 5,000 power and double strike. So we had to add the Krillin to make sure we took advantage of that 5,000 double strike, though you maybe necessarily don't have to. Though this card, every duel that we have done has won me the game. Like, this card won the game because he's great. I really like this leader. I love the pitch 2, draw 1 type of deal. So getting into the deck, I mentioned earlier that you have to carry some Krillins. So I thought the Krillins that came out of set 5, or Themed Booster 3, were really good, but they're really high cost for this deck. So, Veggies is low cost, it spams super fast. So we wanted something that we could play from the field if we needed to, but most of the time we're just going to discard them with Goku's effect or combo with them to get them in the drop area. So with Negotiator Krillin, he has barrier. If you combo with him from your battle area, you choose 1 card in your opponent's combo area and send it to the drop area. So this is good if they try to super combo against you. You use this for defense, get rid of the super combo. Or if they're trying to hit you with a double strike or a crit. If they're trying to hit you with like a Champa double strike crit, you can get rid of it and just take the 1 crit. It kind of breaks them and gets it easy, helps you get to where you need to be to defend yourself. Other than that, he's just a free kind of combo piece. I never actually played this guy in the field in this deck because you don't need to, but we do run 4 of him to make sure we see him when we need him. The next kind of our one drop of, we've got Trunks Brigade to the Future. This guy's our searcher. If for whatever reason we don't have a Kaba turn 1, we play this with the goal of finding a Kaba as quickly as possible. I wanted more of these. I wanted the ability to search and draw fast because we're not relying on Shenron. We don't draw as fast as if we were using Dragon Balls. So this guy, you look at the top 2 of your deck. You look at up to the top 2 of your deck. You pick 1 Saiyan among them and add it to your hand. The other goes to your drop area. So draw 1, is it Kaba? No. Draw 2, is it Kaba? Yes or no. And then the other goes into the drop area. So if you draw the first one, it's a Kaba. You just stop then. You don't have to look at the other 2. Or you don't have to look at the second. You just end the effect, add the Kaba to hand, and move on with your life. But we do run 4 of these guys. The next is kind of our 1 cost utility here. Of course, I'm sure you guessed it. It's Newfound Power Son Gohan. This guy's amazing. 1 drop, takes a life, gains 10,000, gains crit, forces your opponent to either take the crit or waste a resource to get over it. On turn 1, or like your first turn of the game, the first turn that you can attack, if you're swinging with this card, your opponent is probably going to have to use 2 cards to combo over it. So it's really a win-win for you. And then if they leave it on the field and don't get rid of it, do it again next turn. Make him waste resources or take a crit. So 4 of this guy, of course. Then next we've got our super combo, which for this deck is the ever dependable Bulma. She's really awesome when you have 5 or less life. As long as your leader is a green Saiyan, you can combo, draw 1 card. Super combos, not gonna run 4 of them. Don't make it difficult. Then kind of getting into the meat of this deck. This I consider to be the MVP of this deck, which just edges out in first place compared to some of the other cards. But Kaba is amazing. You play him, search the top 10 cards of your deck, look for a Kel or Khalifa, add them to your hand. If it's Khalifa, play it. Other than that, he also reduces the energy cost of Kel and Khalifa in your hand by 1 green cost. So if they're a green card, it reduces by 1 and 1 green cost. So if it's like this Khalifa here, the Unstoppable Ambition, if you have 2 Kabas on the field, she's a free play. Just play her for free from your hand. We do run a couple red. At best, you're going to have to pay the 1 or 2 reds on her to play her, but you can reduce the cost of those as well if you end up having to play those from hand. But we run 4 of him. He's amazing. The goal is to play 1 of these a turn or 2 in 1 turn, whatever you can do. As you just saw, we do run the green package Unstoppable Ambition Super Saiyan Khalifa. She's absolutely amazing. When you play her, you add 1 card from your life to your hand. Bear in mind, that's not an optional effect. If you play her at 1 energy, or if you're at 1 life and you play her, you just killed yourself. So keep that in mind. It's like the Bardock. You have to pay that. You have to take that 1 life. But she also has the added benefit of your battle cards can't be placed in the drop area by your own skills, and your cards can't be KO'd by your own skills. So this is it could have been worded in 1 effect, but they worded it in 2. So it can't be placed in the drop area by your skills, and it can't be KO'd by your own skills. So this is in reference to the next card, protecting your own cards versus it, which, if you know Veggies, you knew this was coming, but we run 4 of the Hidden Awakening Kales. She's absolutely amazing with 2 Kabas on board. She's a 2-drop with 3. She's a 1-drop with 4. She's a free play. But for her, if you look at her effect, this is what the Khalifa stops. When you play this card, choose 1 of your battle cards, KO it, then choose any number of your opponent's battle cards, for which the total adds up to 6 or less, or 5 or less, and KO them. And then auto, if you have 5 or less cards in your hand when this card attacks, draw 1. She's also crit 20,000. She's amazing. She's probably the masterpiece in this deck, kind of the thing that makes the whole Veggie engine super worth it, just because she's so easy to play. She's easy to get out on the board. If your opponent's not running a lot of barrier, she will absolutely wreck your opponent's board. So we run 4 of those. Now, kind of getting out of the green stuff into the red, I'm just going to kind of show all these real quick. The sister attack Saiyan Kale. If you have another Universe 6, when she's played, you draw 1 card and she gains 5,000 for the turn. We're never playing her from our hand. If she's in our hand, she's pure combo fodder at that point. We want her in the deck. We do not want her in the hand. We don't want her in our life. We don't want her in our drop area. We want her in our deck. That's the only reason. Same thing with this card. We won 4 of the impeccable Super Saiyan Kabas. We're never playing this guy from our hand. We want him in our deck to play off of the next card. If he's in our hand, he's pure combo power. You're never charging red. You're never playing these guys outright, which can make things a little clunky, but you need enough Universe 6 in your deck to make the next card worthwhile. While he's on the field, his attacks can't be negated, and he can attack active modes, which is just amazing. So he's amazing. We use him and that Kel to play off of the bold Super Saiyan 2 Khalifa. So she's the second MVP of this deck. So you play Kaba, you grab her if you see her, and then use her effect to search the top 7 of your deck to find a Universe 6 and play it. So you're either going to play the Kaba or the Kel. These two, you're playing one of these 2 off of her effects. You can whiff this effect, but it's okay because she herself is a 20,000. You don't need to maintain her on the board, so you can immediately swing with her. If your opponent gets rid of her, it's okay. The whole idea is to swarm as fast as possible, and this deck doesn't do it quite as well as the Shenron variant, I will say that outright, but she makes it possible. She gave new life to the Veggie stuff, so we do play 4 of her. And then our last battle cards, we play Scientist Fu and Time Patroller Trunks. I very rarely play the Overwhelms in this deck, and I don't think in any of the practice runs I played them. I don't think in the videos that I played them. These could easily be something else. They could be the new 1-drop Gohan that draws a card and for 2 energy gets 10,000 in crit. You don't have to play these. I wanted to play this if I needed to recycle a Kaba. I wanted to play this if I needed a quick push for game and needed resources in my hand to do so. So these are very specific plays. It's not something that as soon as I see it, I'm going to play it. I'm going to hold them until I need them, then play it. Because you have to keep in mind, if you have a Krillin in your drop area and you warp all the cards in your drop area, you just got rid of everything that set up that Goku. You have no Sparkling 5 to use to even draw off of him. So I use these as last minute, like, I need to win, I need to go, I need to get a Kaba back. So I'm going to free play him, grab a Kaba, go in and try to win that way. But if you overwhelm, your leader is Sparkling 5. Your leader requires a Krillin in the drop area. Sparking. I did say Sparkling, didn't I?
Yep.
It is Sparking. Yeah, I don't know why I do that, but because it's fabulous, that's why. Sorry, I'm stupid and I'm tired. But don't use these because it will interrupt your leader. So use these when you're going to win. No other reason. For that, you could swap this Mira or this for the 7-drop Mira that is a good game ender. But I like the double strike, draw 2 cards. Kind of moving on to support, we've got Shocking Death Ball. We play 4 of those. Counter, you can pay 1. You negate the attack, then destroy one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 2 or less. Sparking 5, you can pay with your life if you have Sparking 5 set up. So this is another one of those cards that might lose a little bit of its utility if you overwhelm with this deck. So the potential to overwhelm is here, but this is one that loses its utility. For Preemptive Strikes, we do run these because we've got a green leader. This to me was one of the golden cards that came out of this set. I just wish there were more green leaders. I think this is going to be excellent with the new Brawly stuff. I think when we see the new Brawly stuff, this card's going to see a lot more play. As of right now, you're seeing it with this, and you're maybe seeing it with androids. But for right now, this is what we've got. I really like this card. It's a counter if your leader is green and the battle card your opponent is playing has an energy cost of 4 or less. It's placed in its drop area instead of being played. Now, this isn't super great against swap, but it can be interruptive if you have the energy to do it early. Otherwise, they're going to quickly get to the point where this won't affect their cards. But if you're playing against a deck that has to pay 4 energy to play a 4-drop, guess what? It's gone, and they're probably going to just end their turn. If not, they might cry a little bit, but that's okay. Just hug them afterwards. It's a game. It's meant to be fun. But that, in all, is the legendary Veggies deck. I really love Veggies. It's got a special place in my heart, kind of like the GT stuff. It was one of the first. Playing Veggies and Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, if you remember that red-blue aggro that was out, those were kind of the first 2 decks that made me understand the meta in Dragon Ball. And the game has changed a lot since then, but Veggies has been one of those that's been able to evolve with the game and constantly change with the game. And until there's some kind of hit on Kaba, I think we're going to see Veggies stick around to some relevant event or effect until that point. But I'm really excited for the new stuff. If you like what you saw here today, like our stuff, leave a comment, subscribe for the bell thing, ding, ding, ding. If you want to see us do anything specific, let us know below. And aside from that, Fluff out.